obligation of anything, but it is an opportunity.
If you want to.
Yes, it's a fundraiser.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser, but it's not a requirement. It's an offering.
Oh, yes. I think there's a few more questions, yeah?
Thank you. We have two questions that were online. The first one is from Alexander, and he asks, if our aggregates are purified through refuge and our field becomes sacred, how do we stabilize the view of our body as deity, especially during ordinary moments like walking, eating, and speaking?
Yeah, so I think once your aggregates are purified, then I think no need to worry. No need to worry the rest. All will be taken care.
Okay, nice and simple. The second question is from Zara. How do we reconcile the Buddhist view of the aggregates as a source of suffering with New Age wisdom around self-fulfillment and self-love? How do we determine whether to indulge in a desire or try to restrain it?
Try to restrain it. No. There's the only benefit to restrain anything to do with any type of delusions, especially desire. As I already said yeah, briefly at the beginning of the earlier session, even though we name many other delusions, it seems they are the most destructive, but actually desirous attachment is actually one of the most destructive. The main source of the problem maker, which make us to make a lot of wrong decisions, which really blind us to really to see what is right and what is wrong, what is long-term benefit and short-term benefits. Desirous attachment, mostly make a decision. It seems it appears to be long-term benefit, but actually only serve for temporary benefit, and by yeah. And so especially more for sensual satisfactions, sensual minds. So sensual minds of the ordinary being in Buddhist teaching understood as a false mind. In fact, the mind of ordinary beings are all false mind. As I mentioned also briefly before, it carried the false of dualism, subtle to the gross dualism. And especially for the gross mind and sensual mind, on the basis of having all the earlier dualistic influence, it very much express fully in even the gross level of dualism. means mistakenly, mistakenly make the judgment of the situation. The judgment made out of a dualistic mind, in particularly dualistic attitude like attachment, always looks like, sounds like, appears to be so beneficial to you for long term, but actually lying to yourself. The temporal satisfaction, overshadow the, I don't know whether I use right English, shadow the long-term benefits, greater benefits, always, how to say, make us not to see the long-term benefit, greater benefit, ultimate benefit, because of the dualistic mind, such as attachment, in particularly desirous attachment. Among many attachment, desirous attachment, in particularly sexual desirous attachment to sensual pleasure, in particularly in relation to sensual pleasure, is very much completely hallucinated point of view, is exaggerated point of view, portraying something is so wonderful that by nature is absolutely so ugly, completely no such thing, both from the subject and the object side. But that dualistic mind of attachment, you see everything is perfection, everything is attractive, everything is wonderful, as if that desire is fulfilled, you're going to achieve liberation from all the limitations, whatever limitation it may be, all the sufferings, all the problems, all the unsatisfied aspect of mind and life, whatever, everything will be fulfilled. That kind of idea will be portrayed by the dualistic ignorant, of the attachment. It is characteristic itself. It carries, portraying something completely opposite so beautifully, so attractive, and as if it appears like it is like taking care of you. It's like working for your benefit, serving your happiness, which in reality is totally opposite. It's just a matter of time. It will bring suffering, greater suffering. It is, all those sensual pleasures just in the form of suffering of change. Even the pleasure may be pleasurable, but it's just for temporal. But after that, the pain, the problem, the suffering, the limitation, so great that it may need to carry on for the rest of our life. Then the karmic impact, may need to carry even beyond this lifetime. You see, so there's only negative characteristic in relation to desire, sensual desire, in particularly in relation to sexual desires. That's only, it is a source of, is very much source of ruining both your physical, mental, environmental health. Spiritually, it is one of the most harmful to destroy your ethics. One of the most harmful. Spiritually, one of the most destructive obstacle. One of the greatest distraction. Especially for the practice of the most marvelous practice of Tantra. The sexual desire, in fact, it ruins, channels and chakras and drop and positive energy. It destroys them. So, in ordinary, lay life, making a decision about happiness, for long-term happiness, if making decision based on what the sensual desire want, the decision most likely will be false, will be mistake. Just a matter of time, it will bring a greater pain, greater problem, and sensual desire, especially sexual desire, is very much like anything to do with the urge of the desire is like drinking a salt water. The more you indulge, the more you want to indulge. The more you indulge, the more thirst, more dissatisfaction develops. Very much will lead to a restless to your body and the mind. You become a restless, both physically, mentally, until it can cause mental difficulties, problems. So always in life making decision, even if you are a spiritual practitioner, then everything should make according to with the principle of the 3 higher trainings, according with the principle of the ethics, and the qualities of the mind, like the concentration, and with the wisdom. We cannot make a decision, based on what our emotion want. Our emotions are well habituated by delusion. Sometimes people say, listen to your mind. No, for me, say, no, don't listen to your mind. They say, listen to your instinct. No. Our instinct, our minds are more habitual in negative emotions. And our mind very much expresses, more prone to what you call the negativities, like arising of delusions. So then, if we follow our mind, we should follow that emotion? No. The positive emotions, positive attitude and wisdoms are so difficult to naturally arise in our heart because we have a limited habitual training in that. So we need to listen to a wisdom, not just whatever our mind says, isn't it? We have this capability of human analytical wisdom capability to analyze, to compare the short benefit, long-term benefit, mundane benefit, spiritual benefit, benefit of this life, benefit of next life, benefit of next life onward. All this comparison has to be done. Especially someone who met the Dharma, who believe in words of the Buddha, means who believe in reincarnation, life after life. Buddha have saw that. Buddha established that. Buddha even illustrated, give a example, give a proof of even the Jataka tale, the 500 reincarnations, unfortunate reincarnation of 500 Buddha's life, fortunate reincarnation of 500 fortunate reincarnation of Buddha's life in Jataka tale. These are proof there's a reincarnation. Life is not just within this one lifetime. Life go beyond that. Then Buddha also give evidence within these reincarnations, whatever action have done in the past life that bring impact, the effect to the next life. Then the teaching illustrated, that experience, that fact, he illustrated more detail in the teachings of karma, how karma works, what are the impact of negative karma, what are the impact of delusions, what are the impact of positive karma, virtue karma, So all these are not just, intellectually just bring a composition. It is the experiential teaching. The real story happened in someone's life, like Buddha himself. You see, and not only that, Buddha himself in the beginning is as deluded as like myself. As ordinary as many of us. Completely overpowered by karma, delusion, suffering, samsara, and using those beneficial wisdoms of renunciation, renouncing attachment, renouncing anger, renouncing ignorance, renouncing, this, all this, the urge of the negative emotions. Then making making the wholesome attitudes and beneficial wisdom as his mind, his very much him, how he think and how he speak, how he act, how he make this decision about his life, and through the applications of the path of right attitude and right wisdom, he managed to overcome the restless emotions, roller coaster like ups and downs of emotions, and the sufferings that brought out of that, including of able to overcome repeated rebirth in samsara, able to overcome the birth, able to overcome death, because of that, able to overcome sickness, aging. You see, so the Buddha's teachings are all real life experience. It's not just a composition of creative mind, fiction story. It's a real life story, real life experience put down on the writing. You see, so therefore, we seriously has to make a decision based on comparing between the temporary benefit, long-term benefit, and that way, then you will say no to the voice of the urge of like delusions, like attachment. And you will not focus just fixing this, this very temporal, emotional kind of wanting this, wanting that. You will have a rather focus on bigger picture for long-term benefit, and that will help to settle yourself. Very much, paying less attention to the what attachment grasping one, as long as all the other factors are conducive, is harmony with virtue, harmony with peaceful, then even though there's no, even though it is not satisfying the desires, attachments, wanting, but it is still bring the benefit of the greater benefit, long-term benefits. That's where then you renounce, gradually all these delusions, so like that. So we have to, we cannot follow whatever our mind is asking. Then we will get into big trouble. Of course, in samsara, we've got perfection, I mean, there's no perfection, especially if we guide our life under the influence of the delusion, especially like attachment, then it will ruin one's life, it will ruin others' life. With that temporal excitement, that temporal excitement of the attachment that which infuse, which falsely narrated by ignorant, will bring a greater suffering to self and others, and will pollute the environment. So you see, especially to do with the desire attachment, with the age, your interest will be changed. You see, so some people tell whatever the excitement of the desire that you have now, thinks that this is most important, but this will not stay as important forever. The main thing is the mind itself is a false mind, and if we engage in action, there's only lead to a false, and it will obstruct. It will bring obstacle to many greater purposes. You see. There are many great other things that which you can, bring even a greater joy in your life, isn't it? That which you can enjoy the nectar or the blissfulness, unexhaustible blissfulness. Like when you start to adopt the practice of, seriousness practice of even shamatha, like mindfulness practice, concentration practice, you bring complete control over your mind. And you enjoy exactly the way how you want to enjoy. Designing, fixing from inside, not outside. There's nothing, as I mentioned before, except our mind. There's nothing is in our control, except our mind. So if we train with the tools like a concentration or ethics, ethic is the foundation. Then only able to train on concentration. Then only able to gain more wisdoms. So if we use these tools, we will come to a position to able to control our emotion, control our mind, and design our mind the way exactly how you want to experience it. And we did discuss briefly yesterday, suffering or liberation, very much quality of your mind, because there's no substantially existing suffering out there or liberation out there. Enlightenment or liberation is, there's no substantial inherent base or place or time to arrive. It's just quality of how much you're able to control your mind, isn't it? You see. So, yeah, so if we really want to enjoy the satisfaction in life, to achieve all the perfection and wantings, to achieve all the wantings in our life, all the wonderful things in our life, then one thing one should strive for is to train in the method to be able to bring control over our mind, control over our emotion, because that is really is in our hand. We can do it. Someone like Siddhartha become Buddha because he managed to control his mind. He managed to direct his life by controlling his mind. Because of controlling his mind, he able to control entire his emotion, entire his actions. Because of that, he able to determine what kind of experiences in life that he want to experience. Because of that, he enjoy the perfected liberation. This is again not a fiction story; it's a real life story. Just look at like His Holiness Dalai Lama. To manage to control his life, control his mind, through the tools of bodhicitta and emptiness. You see, he's I think most happy person in the world. I think someone out there that who is all the time happy for maybe at least like 60, 70 or almost like 80, 90 years. I think Dalai Lama is one of the very obvious example. But physically, environmentally, look into Dalai Lama's life. I think he is the one who went through the most difficult life compared to any of our life. How much I have so much complaint about my life, and some of you may have some degree of complaint, but comparing the trouble that Dalai Lama went through compared to my trouble is nothing. Some like Dalai Lama as a human person, at the age of 2, away from parents. Can you imagine? Age of 2, have to stay with a stranger. I think I've shared this story last time. I think maybe here or I know everywhere. You must have many times, and because of he's recognized as a Dalai Lama in the palace, the guards are all big-sized monks, not a small-sized kids. There's no kids at all. All the big size, and some more those more like the bodyguards. So they have big mustache, and also is quite a freezing condition in Lhasa, and also those of the what do you call the bodyguard monks. They usually they wear layer of clothes, like 3, 4, and make it even like that, much more bigger than the conventional suit, and make them look so big and so scary. And this little 2 years, a 3 years old boy is a human boy. Yes, he can Dalai Lama or whatever, but he's still a human being. He's a child, and need to face all these people, And he expressed it was frightening, And he feel comfortable is one with that who always go and who is sweeping. He looked more humble, It's like, but still the sweeper of Dalai Lama's palace, so still might be quite quite giant, maybe whatever. But he at least and there's I think birds, so he feels more comfortable with the birds. But also how much time that he can spend time there, isn't it? Then we say when he go to bed, he even said all his rooms are like like painting of these awful deities, And also, I mean, in Tibet, in that time, I mean, the light would be very dim. Maybe light might be more like butter lights, not even like electricity light, maybe. And the drawing in the Himalayas is like very intense color. And the deities, the look is very intense. And this little 2 years boy, I mean, if the light is completely off, again, because it's like a shrine, the room is like a shrine. So the tradition in the holy shrine, the light will be on whole 24 hours, especially at night. So you look at, can you imagine on the butter light, which is quite dim and at night, and is still visible to these scary paintings. It's not scary, but it looks scary. But for the child, it's very scary. And some more, the lights go like that. And the image, is like, can be frightening. I think His Holiness have mentioned that. Can think about that. Can any of us can go through this? I don't think so. I mean, if we happen to put into that position, by now we will sue our parents. Then he has a very, very strict teacher. One of the teacher, the very precious reincarnation who is visiting soon, Ling Rinpoche's previous life, one of the dearest teacher. Who Dalai Lama today is because of his discipline, but is very firm. But for little child, it's not easy, isn't it? And there are many other teachers, many other discipliners, because you need to behave just like Dalai Lama, isn't it? In this 2 years or 3 years old body. So can you imagine then, just a tender age, he lost his country. He was put into a position to take care of the whole country. Can you imagine, in this young age, he need to deal with Mao Zedong. I mean, Mao Zedong, can you imagine, is one of the scariest person. And this young, very much coming from a village, like, in Lhasa, and had to deal, and had to make a peace. How much he has to go through. Then after that, the invasion came into Lhasa. Then when Dalai Lama was fleeing through that journey, whenever I see there's some of the pictures, there's one picture he was, disguising, wearing a lay cloth, with that skinny look, with that tiredness look. Can you imagine the fear, whether he's going through or not, but the environment is so intense. So after he arrived to India, for the past 50, 60 years, almost every single day, he hear his people, the people there, he has emotional connection like a family, like father, mother, brother, sister. Every now and then, hear about someone is killed, someone is jailed, etc., etc. Can you imagine how much he has to go through? Even today, even in this age, he's still, finding way to go back home, but cannot. And finding way to bring back home all his family members, all this, the Tibetan, cannot. And the responsibility is very much everything on him. And can you imagine how much the person, whole life, but today is 90 years old. But when you look at his speech, his thinking, his present of himself in the world, from that very in the Tibet all the way up to today was like so calm. And everything is about peace. Everything is about compassion. Everything is about altruism. And I think almost like there's no tension, no stress, no disturbances, no anger. There's no form of anger at all. And there's no form of ego. You can think about his work, his contribution to the world. By now he should have the biggest ego, but he's one of the humblest person. Whenever he meet anybody, he give the same attention, equal attention to everybody. So this is the real proof. The heart of bodhicitta, heart of great compassion, heart, the wisdom of emptiness really works. You see. So I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't know what is the reason I'm saying this, but yeah. Yes, controlling your mind. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, controlling your mind. So this all because of controlling. Manage to control your emotion, manage to control your mind. Like his son Dalai Lama, there's almost everything in his environment is out of control. Yeah, but he still managed to control his mind. He managed to enjoy liberation in the midst of all these troubles. So thinking about that, if we try a little bit about it, I think because our problems are much more smaller than comparing to His Holiness Dalai Lamas. So therefore, even we cannot train as extended like him, even we train a little bit also, I think since our problems are lesser, I think we can also enjoy. So this is the power of the mind. So therefore, yeah, I think in relation to the question, you know, especially to the mind of, you know, the desirous attachment, fixing the outer situation will never able to fix the real problem. Will never able to fix the thirst of the desire, you know, by fixing the outer wall. You know, able to fix only when you're able to control your mind, control your emotion, you know, fix the attitude. You see, so solving the outer situation will not able to solve the problem of the desire. The solving of the problem of desire is actually your own mind. You see, you to bring able to control your mind. You see, like that. Yeah. So that's the answer. Okay. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So about the refuge retreat, I think I would suggest you to read the note that which already put on the higher giver blog. Have, you know, there's short note compiled, even occasionally, you know, or weekend, or once a month, or even once a year, you wish to do at least like full day strict retreat. So I even suggest a timetable from what time to what time that you should conduct the session. What are the motivation, and even the structured, you know, the guide to the practice and visualizations and like that. You see, so so maybe I don't need to repeat here. So you can maybe take time to go through that. As for the sadhana, that if you wish to use, then here in the prayer book, there's a short sadhana that which is a general practice, but at the same time, there's a compiling under the guidance of Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche. So it's in the APMD prayer book. So taking refuge in the three jewels, you know, short daily practice of taking refuge. So you can just follow this, you know, this one page, very much like 1.5 page like that. The preliminary practice of even refuge practice, you start with preparatory practice, like such as taking refuge, generating right motivation through bodhicitta, then intensifying the motivation with 4 immeasurable prayers. Then after that, you set even more specific motivation. Here's a motivation for life. Then in between here, then you accumulate the prayer. You accumulate the prayer. You can accumulate. So the minimum retreat commitment, the whole retreat commitment is 100,000 of the refuge prayer. Daily. In fact, you know, after you take in refuge, after you become Buddhist, minimum 6 times of remembering Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That's actually minimum commitment, and sometimes we miss. We may possible to miss that also. But then it's still, in case really, let's say if you happen to fall sick, hospitalized, and unable to keep up the commitment, then just one time, minimum one time. You know, just simply, you know, I take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So just expressing that one time, or remembering Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha in your heart. So that's not that difficult, isn't it? But to remember that daily, because the distractions are overwhelming. So remembering that daily can be quite tricky for some people. And remembering that for one whole year is a great training. You know, actually it's very simple practice. very easy to do, but even that simple and easy to do can be slip away. You see, even while this practice carrying unbelievable benefit, but then we just take it like one very, how to say, ordinary practice, and we may skip. So therefore, naming as a retreat has a special impact, because when you say retreat means you have to do. You say if you want to do retreat for 365 days, means even one day you cannot miss it. You have to remember. Even you want to put an alarm clock also. You have to do something to make sure remember, and that training, even though every day just reciting one time and remembering Buddha Dharma just one time, but remembering this for a whole year, the impact at the end will be unbelievable. The carving of the imprint to your subtle consciousness will be huge, you see. And that is needed, as I mentioned before. We need to have a different way of taking care of our well-being. Taking care of the well-being for all our existence, for beyond this lifetime, and not only this life. Yeah, we have to do something more than just simply taking care of ourselves through taking care of our body, through foods, through exercise. We need to do something more than that, so that we can really enjoy the protection. We can really feel the protection. We can really feel safe. Even when we are so sick, we will still feel safe. Even the death approach, you will still feel safe. Even on the last breath, transition from this life to next life, you will feel you're very safe. You will have a confidence. You will have a confidence that I will have an even better life than now, because I have refuge. I have a protection. You see. Even in the benefit here, it says, benefit of protecting the vows. You will not fall to the suffering lower realm, like such as hell realm, animal realm, hungry ghost realm. So minimum benefit, even how poor practitioner one may be, after taking refuge, if you are having refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, just simply being aware that I'm taken care by Buddha Dharma Sangha. I'm taken care by Buddha. Just with that alone will stop will close the doorway to three lower realms in our immediate rebirth. I mean, to know this, to know this is a great protection, isn't it? There are many people who scared of dying is because of don't know where we're going to go. Especially many people scared of dying because of they know that how many negative karma they have done. And they also know very well that what are the consequences. So they fear. They fear. But at the same time, they want to purify them, but no time. So, but now when you have refuge, you say, okay, at least for immediate rebirth, I don't have to experience this three lower realm. And some more, since you're observing precepts, like a refuge precepts, then without much doubt. And on top of that, practice of generosity, and also you aspire for better human rebirth, or at least similar to what you have this life, and born around your family again, the loved one again. I think anybody would like to, in a basis, like to enlighten, if not in Pure Land, if not at least born around your family members, isn't it? I think if you have a choice, would you like to come back around, be in the same family? I think most people, you would prefer that, isn't it? Yeah. So if you have a choice to be enlightened, of course you would choose that. If not, the Pure Land. If not, then I think instead of being born in a God realm, demigod realm, even how admirable it may be, I think you prefer to be born around the people, the family to whom, you love them, isn't it? I think many people. So, so with the practice of refuge, you can even have the capability to define that, because in the teaching it talks about three main causes to reborn as a human being, precious human being. First one is ethic. So by practicing refuge, you already practice ethics. Second one is practice of generosity. And try your very best in the practice of the rest of the paramitas. But mainly is a generosity. And the third one is aspiration to have the precious human rebirth again, in order for us to continue the practice. Because you felt that not enough time now, there's so much to purify, so much to accumulate, but life is catching up. So now, there's a valid reason, and it is a nice aspiration into to reborn as a good human being again. You see, so very much when you have refuge, you very much will have all these three causes come together, and that will kind of very much karmically certify us that we don't need to reborn, certify us already, like the ticket is confirmed to be born in a higher rebirth like a human, you see. So when the difficult time comes in our way, if we are aware of this, it will clear very much, if not all the fears, but great fear. It will clear great fear, especially concerning of the uncertainty of the future. Very much this will give you certainty, minimum certainty. Was it certainty to the something is favorable to be reborn, which is so comforting. You see, and even in the present time, in that very moment, since you have developed genuine conviction and the trust to the Buddha, and understanding the Buddha's omniscient quality, there won't be fear of that you are alone. There are so many people who are dying. They fear of loneliness. They fear of experiencing separation from all the loved one. Like very much like the journey is alone. So you will never feel alone, because you always feel Buddha is always there for you. Again, that will protect us from a great fear of loneliness. And there are also individuals who experience the fear of spirit harms, other spirit harm, because when we are dying, our spirit become very low. So the negative spirits come and either possess or either influence. So then there are a lot of like how to say, unpleasant voices, unpleasant thoughts, unpleasant visions. And again, if you have the firm convictions of I have the protections of the Buddha, because Buddha is antidote to all the negativities, including of negative spirits. Yeah. So when you are fully in the convictions of having that refuge, you can also overcome this great fear of the disturbance by other spirits, other negative energy. You see. Then there are individuals who suffer, who suffer so much because of, at the time of death, because of the separation, separation from your body. Yeah, the suffering of like separation from your body. Very much losing identity. Again, with the practice of the refuge, you will be reminded that your nature and Buddha's nature is a oneness, sameness. What really taking refuge, the Buddha, in fact, that Buddha is the Dharmakaya, and the Dharmakaya is my nature. And that identity is actually so pure, so wonderful. You know, this identity will never lose because it is permanent. It is permanent. It is forever exists as long as you exist. You know, as long as the person, as long as the being exists, not a human person, but as long as the being exists, as long as my continuum exists, as long as the continuum of the consciousness exists, the Dharmakaya exists, and that is my true being, and that is a pure being, isn't it? So again, having the refuge in the Buddha will get reminded that, and that will able to clear a huge, one of the greatest fear of separation from your own body, on your own aggregates, your identity, like that. You see. So then again, there are some individuals express that they have a fear. I don't fear of dying myself. I don't fear of wherever I'm going to be born. I don't fear whatever challenges that my body is going through now. But I have a great suffering of leaving behind my loved one. I can't imagine, I can't bear the pain that how my children and my rest of the family, will exist without my existence. And there's a great fear that arises. So again, when you have a strong conviction in Buddha's quality is all-pervasive, omniscient, and what you call the boundless compassion, boundless love. How much the Buddha is taking care of you, that much Buddha also watch over your children, your families. Buddha can able to watch over them more than you can do, more than you have done, more than what you could do future. Buddha has much more greater skillful means, greater wisdom. And Buddha have an understanding of the mind of your children, your family. You don't even have that quality. So you will arrive to a position that you completely kind of pass the responsibility of taking care of your loved one to the Buddha, and you will live without any kind of like worries, any kind of fear, any kind of concern. You have this great releasing of that grasping, that which brings so much pain. When you have a refuge in the Buddha, can able to protect us from that kind of danger. You see. Then you see, one of the another crisis when someone is passing away is the fear that driven by hallucination, like such as the hallucination that comes in our way when the dissolutions of the four elements, earth element to water, water to fire, fire to air. The hallucination, like water dissolving into earth dissolving into water, as if the entire mountain is like collapsing on you. Hallucination. There's no such thing. And there are individuals who scream of the fear, and this mountain is like pressing on you, or suddenly kind of like a earth like in the earthquake, like a divide, and you are like trapped in between. An example, there are many scary hallucinations examples. It's illustrated in the teachings. So so this those of the hallucinational appearance are in fact beyond our can be expressed in a word. They're so fearful, so nasty. There's no word to describe them. Then 80 conceptual disasters, 80 conceptual hallucinational disturbances comes in our way. It's like a non-stop shooting arrow to you, as if all are real, but actually it's not. It's just hallucination, and brings so much of confusion, so much of fear. Even after we stop the breath, consciousness still carry on with those fears. You see. So now that time, our intellectual education cannot help us. That time, medicine cannot help us, doctor cannot help us, our loved one cannot help us, money cannot help us, power cannot help us, servant cannot help us, nobody can help us. But if we have this intense carved imprint of refuge in the Buddha, that will intervene to protect our consciousness all the way up to guiding, even actualizing, the clear light onto the path, you see. So therefore, and how to reach to this point, nothing other than habituation, making it repeated habit. That's why we do retreat. During retreat, what we do, we repeat the prayers, we repeat the mantras. That's why even giving a number called 100,000, 400,000, 1 million, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the number itself is not so important, but numbers are set because that will help us to complete the repetition. And each repetition accumulate the training or the imprint, make habitual to you. So we have to, even though the number, like in the refuge, we set 100,000, actually the retreat has to be conducted until it becomes spontaneous. It's spontaneous to us. Appearing Buddha without reasoning, not only during the fear, not only during happiness, it's all the time. All the time you see Buddha. All the time you feel Buddha's present. Naturally, effortlessly, you see. And that's the realization of refuge. That's the realization. We need to do retreat up to there. We need to repeat up to that. Then, during all those difficult periods, when the high emotions are more powerful than your wisdom, the Buddha will intervene to make sure the wisdom actually overpower them. You see? So we need to train until it becomes spontaneous. So any realization on the stages of the path, whether it's bodhicitta or about refuge or about guru yoga or emptiness, of course, first we use the tools of words, tools of the knowledge. Then after that, then we, we repeat them, through meditation, either through analytical meditation or absorption meditation. We repeat them. We repeat them either counting them or we repeat them accumulating the time. Maybe we do meditation to accumulate maybe like 1 mala, or we do the meditation until the 1 hour is done. But the point is to make familiar in our system as many time as possible, as the lengthy time as possible, as long as possible. Yeah. So this is the way. It will lead to a one day that you don't need the tools of words. You don't need the tools of preparations. You don't need the tools of preliminaries. You don't need the tools of picture, statues, or teaching. It's spontaneously is part of your mind. The moment your mind wake up, the wisdom, the mindfulness of feeling the presence of Buddha is present. So that's the thing. So when we practice the refuge in Buddha, it's not only talking about keep remember Shakyamuni Buddha. You can remember Shakyamuni Buddha, you can remember Tara, you can remember Medicine Buddha, as long as you remember any of the Buddha. Remember them again and again, as many Buddhas as possible, but as long as Buddha. The gurus are the Buddha. Remember the gurus. So some people have a discursive mind, cannot stay focused in one object. Fine. Just look at the Tara, 21. Go for it. You challenge your discursive mind. You cannot focus one, okay, let you focus on 21. If that also not enough, 8 medicine Buddha. That also not enough, 35 Buddhas, okay, 1,000 Buddhas, the numberless Buddhas out there. So as long as you try to occupy your awareness, your mindfulness is Buddhas. Until that, when you see person, you see Tara. When you see the female, you see the Tara. When you see the male, you see the Tara. You see Manjusharis, whatever. You see the reflection or embodiment of the Buddhas in everybody. Until your refuge is so intact, until your realization in refuge in the Buddha is so great, the husbands, see all their wives is like absolute angels, Buddhas, all the time Mother Taras, and all the wives seeing, all their husband is all the great Buddhas like Manjusharis, etc. Guru Pema Sampava, etc. Your guru, you see. I mean, even right there, the protection to you is, I mean, when the husband start to see your wife as a Tara, I think you will never scold her. You will never offend her. I mean, you will venerate the way how you venerate the Tara. You will do Tara Puja every day. And similarly to the wife, to the husband. And similarly, parent to the children. You see all your children, not ordinary kids. You see the children, it's like 8 bodhisattvas running around. Or the 2 bodhisattvas running around. Or 1 bodhisattva running around. 1 bodhisattva messing up all your wall with all the chalks. Throwing all the foods everywhere, I mean, you will feel so amazing that I can be in the service of cleaning all the mess made by the Buddha. So you see, that itself is a protection from negative emotions, impure views, impure perceptions, impure judgments, negative judgments, you see. And not only that, you yourself will always, see in the Buddha, complete Buddha being. Then there won't be any kind of negative relation to yourself, because you see yourself as a Buddha. You see everybody as a Buddha. Then every place is the celestial of Buddha. Every place is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful. So that's the heart of Buddha, isn't it? You see, so that we have to train until it becomes like that. Now, when we talk about the Dharma refuge, again, is Dharma, that one particular, that text, or that particular, that one teaching. No, as long as you remember any form of Dharma, you are still accumulating the Dharma refuge. You see, whenever you practice renunciation, you are in the practice of refuge of Dharma refuge. Whenever you meditate on emptiness, whenever you study emptiness, whenever you try to train the mind in emptiness, like seeing everything as an illusion alike in your post session, and sometimes once a while you just go into absorption, complete, like settle into your absolute nature of the mind, clear nature of the mind, settle there. You are directly, most effectively engaging in the practice of Dharma refuge. Basically, whatever form of Dharma, Sutra, Tantra, any subject, any topic. Right now, we are in a Dharma refuge, training of Dharma refuge. We are in Dharma discussion. Each time you read any prayers, any text, you are in the training of the Dharma refuge. You see? So that has to happen. There's no limitation. Like, it gives you absolute freedom. And if you can be in such retreat, how amazing. You can do the practice everywhere, isn't it? Like someone, I think many of you have heard this, like applying the practice of 6 parameter as a cook, as a parent to the children, as a caretaker of the family. Use the tools of 6 parameter. Be very generous in smiling. Be very generous in your service to them. Be very patient. Be morally ethics. Be mindful. Be selfless. Service of your family. Everything is Dharma practice, Dharma refuge. Practice of Dharma refuge is a marvelous training of the refuge in the practice of Dharma. It's not just counting, I go for refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. These are just a reminder. So even you didn't manage to do that, even if you're able to do that, of course, it also exercises our speech. And it has its own power to remind so many other great things. But if you don't have time to do that, at least 1 year, or at least even someday you check it out, you just dedicate. Being in such a retreat will be unbelievable impact that will come in your way. You wake up thinking of precious human rebirth, isn't it? When you wake up, oh my goodness, wow, it's like a miracle. I could have died last night. So many people die in the sleep. No need to feel sick. Just boom, finish. I'm still alive. And the life is like precious human rebirth. I still have faith in Dharma. I still practice Dharma. I still live in the environment of there's a Dharma available. The Buddha's teachings are available. Sanghas are available. Gurus are available. Practitioners' communities are available. Wow, so meaningful to live. How amazing. I'm so happy I'm alive today. And therefore, I want to dedicate how many days I have, how many years I have, but at least this present moment, I'm going to fully enjoy this present moment, which I know I'm alive. Right that present moment, if breakfast comes in your way, enjoy the breakfast. Enjoy the breakfast. Again, you apply the Dharma practice. Practice the Dharma refuge. Feel gratitude of sentient beings, isn't it? Think of the numberless sentient beings. Do to the sentient beings kindness. The foods are available. If there's no farmer, where got rice? If there's no shops, seller of the grocery, where got food under your table? If you didn't have the job to work, and if there's no money, where got food? There's so many sentient beings, contribute. And also, I accumulated merit in my past lifetime. That's why I have abundance of breakfast. I have the breakfast that I want, whether it's abundance or not. You see? So it's like, wow, wonderful, feel gratitude. You are in the practice of Dharma, isn't it? You are actually expressing gratitude, the kindness of sentient beings. It's a bodhicitta way of heart. You are in the retreat. You are in the practice of refuge, in the Dharma. That's it. You see? When it's raining, you feel, wow, so wonderful. There's so many plants need water. Great. If it's sunny day, wow, so many plants need lights. Beautiful. Everything, translate into something is meaningful. Translate into, it's everything try to see through the eyes of bodhicitta, through the eyes of emptiness, through the eyes of, altruism. Every doing become a Dharma. Means every doing is you are living in the practice of refuge, practice of Dharma. You see? Now, if we try to do that in day to day, how much comfort you will receive, how much meaning that you will accumulate, how fulfilling your day will be. And the imprint out of it is like very much like you are kind of carving every single cell, every single bones, every single liquid in your body, every single thought, like not just only I go for refuge in Dharma, in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, in the temple only. Not only during that 5 minute of session, no, all the time, you know. So as long as you live like that, you are in the practice. You see, you are in the intense retreat practice, and we can do that daily like that. Anyway, we have to do all these different chores in day to day. Why not we translate them? Why not we see them through the lenses of the Dharma? You know, through the lenses of the Dharma. Yeah, like when you come and do service in the center, you think of Dalai Lama, you think of Shakyamuni Buddha, you think of Guru Pema, you think of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you think of all your gurus, that I'm offering service to them. I'm offering service to fulfill their visions, fulfill their aspirations to benefit sentient being, to create mandala for the people, for the sentient being. You translate that volunteering work into a Guru Yoga practice. How amazing is that? You see, you can do that in the family, you can do that in the community, you can do that to the world, you can do that in the center, everywhere. You see, like that, you see. So now, whenever you uphold this practice in your heart, you are Sangha. You're very much upholding the value of Sangha. Whether you have realized emptiness or not, doesn't matter. But in practice, you are upholding the quality of Sangha. Therefore, you accumulate the practice of the Sangha refuge. Eventually, you will result in, like the Arya beings, like Arya Bodhisattvas, who 24 hours, entire their existence, they live a life more than what I have just shared. These are just few examples. You know, every single moment, like just look at Lama Zopa Rinpoche, every single moment in the service of sentient being, that is Dharma. You know, what is other than that is Dharma, isn't it? Every single moment, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, dedicating in the service of people. Look at just in the conventional way, you know, in 1 week, you know, he sees about 800 over people. Twice a week, I think, 800 over people. To seeing people is actually not that easy. Even the people think, okay, you just go there and look at them. Not easy, because everybody carries different energy, different emotions, and you need to reciprocate that. And that requires a lot of physical, emotional energy. And with the bodhicitta heart, he's there. Beside giving so much of teaching, even in this age, etc. You see. So we too, in our own level of practice, we can do similar way. In our own environment, like a family, etc. You see, so this is the thing. Otherwise, prayers you can choose. You know, like I go for Refuge Buddha Dhamma Sangha, or you can choose you know, the Refuge and Bodhicitta 4-line prayer. If you want to do sometime. Take, you know, since if you have a daily yoga practice, if you also have Dhamma protector, you can also recite, you know, the prayers in relation to deity, Buddha Dharma, Guru Buddha Dharma Sangha, deity, Daka, Dakinis, and Dhamma protectors. So all this in my note already. There's a prayer, you know, according with the sutra is there. So you can sometimes use them, you know. But the main thing is the idea that I've discussed before, to really take into our practice. You know, living very much full time. We can live full time in the practice of Dharma. Actually, Dharma practice is the easiest. Dharma practicing Dharma actually is the easiest thing to do. Handling worldly life is not easy. You know. Not easy, especially like in the developed world, you know, like just handling tax is not easy. Can you imagine the rest of the other things? You know, handling family is not easy. Handling business is not easy. You know, handling relationship is not easy. Managing even an air ticket is not easy. Managing bus ticket also not easy. Everything is not easy. But when comparing to that with the practice of Dharma is easiest. When you practice Dharma, everything is so easy. If you use the lenses of Dharma into our lay life, in our ordinary, you know, responsibility, then all ordinary responsibility also looks very easy. because everything is like so meaningful. Because Dharma will make us to feel everything is so meaningful. That's so fulfilling, isn't it? Whatever we do, we are looking for meaning, isn't it? So you see, so that's why don't regard Dharma practice as hard. Dharma practice is actually really is the easiest thing. The moment you make the decision, and anybody can practice. You can practice anywhere. You can practice in any form. It will not define just wearing some kind of like a new dress that you are a practitioner. I wear this because this is my fashion. I like this fashion, so I wear this. It's fine. You wear this, all is fine. You carry also hair. I like this hairstyle. It's fine. You married? Fine. You single? Fine. I'm single? Fine. Just fine. As long as we practice Dharma in every way of our living, become absolute fulfilling of entire meaning of life. So with this note, I stop here. And again, I took some of your time, extra time. So I will not do this lengthy dedication. We do short dedication, and we will do the dedication tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Samjo Rinpoche, Maje Banam Jeju Jewa Nyamba, Meba Yang, Gone Ngondro Pewara Sho. Thank you very much. Take care. Oh yeah, we have a puja.
Short would after short break.
Yeah, we will do a short puja.
Some people wanted to put some more offerings on, so anyway, people break, offerings break.
Yeah, also everybody on the online, thank you very much. Some of you, I don't know, in the middle of the night, middle of the day. So from everywhere, thank you, rejoice. Thank you.